Jason here, Stamping Simply with Maria. In today's video, I'm going to be making a card using scrap paper. That's scrap designer series paper. You heard right, a card using scrap pieces of designer series paper. I don't know about you, but I tend to save 99% of my scrap pieces of paper, be it designer series paper or cardstock, because you never know when you don't know what you're going to make and you've got this big bunch of designer series paper or cardstock, little strips on your desk, and you're like, oh wait, I can make a card with all this stuff. Why toss it? So that's what today's video is about, and I'll be featuring the Storybook Gnomes, which is in the new mini catalog. So let's turn the camera down and we'll get started. So here lined up on my table, I have the Storybook Gnomes designer series paper, and I have the back side and the front side showing on here. And it's such a cute, adorable pattern on here, and so colorful, but yet kind of muted colors. They're very soft colors. One side it has images, and you'll notice actually these the gnomes, the bigger size gnomes, you can cut these out with the dies. They fit perfectly on here. Let's see, we got this guy, I think fits here, and then we have, I think it's just the bigger ones though. I don't think the little ones do. I think that's, let's see, this one here. That one fits there, and then this little guy is, I don't think it cuts this one out, no, because that's would be reversed. So, and then I think this is another one that it might cut out. Yes, this one. It cuts out this little guy here. So really cute. I mean, you could also fussy cut them if that's what you like to do. I personally don't like to fussy cut. So if a stamp set comes with a die, 99% of the time, I will always buy the dies with it, because I know I will use it. The other thing it has is this mushroom, and let's find that piece. It cuts out these mushrooms here. So you can definitely use those on a card, you know, really, really cool. All right, so let's put this paper aside and we'll get started. Before we get started though, I want to show you where you can find it. It's in the mini catalog, July to December 2022. And it can be found on page 42 and 43. As I mentioned, it's called the Suite Storybook Gnomes. And if you purchase the entire suite, it comes with the Kindest Gnomes stamp set, the Gnomes dies, balmy blue, blue and white ribbon, fine sparkle adhesive back gems, and I have those right here. I'm going to take them out of the package though. And I probably will be using these on the card. Really pretty gems, and they're, like I said, they're adhesive back. And it also comes with the Snowfall Accents puff paint, which is this here. So what I'm going to be doing with that is I will use it on the beard for one of the gnomes, and I'll show you how that works. It's really cool. You'll love that. And then obviously it comes with the designer series paper, which is 12 by 12. It includes 12 sheets, 2 of each sheet, 2 sheets of each of 6 designs. They're double-sided. So really cool. Celebration is still going on. It will end August 31st. Lots of great items still available. I will show you what has sold out though. The pool party and soft sea foam cards and envelopes is no longer available. That has been sold out, as has the, I believe, the tree dies. Yes, the tree lot dies. That has also been sold out. but everything else is still available. In addition to those, you can also get some new celebration items which were not in the catalog, in the celebration catalog. And when you check out, you'll be able to choose these. If you're interested in them, you can also get in touch with me, and I'd be more than happy to help you. All right, so let's get started. I have most of my pieces here already cut. And I have a piece of, this is Pacific Point. It's cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 here, just right in half. Then this is an old piece. I believe it was called Blueberry Bushel, but it was a scrap piece, and I thought, oh, you know, I can actually use that as a background piece on the front here. So we'll be using that. And then I have 3 pieces here of the Designer Series paper, and I'll show you the other side, but I chose to use 2 of the same and then 1 different one in the center, and these has mushrooms on the other side. These are cut 1 inch by 6 inch. I will be cutting these down though to they'll remain 1 inch, but then I'll be cutting them down to 4.5 inches. And then the other pieces I have, which I've already colored, I have the mushroom, which I've colored and die cut. And I stamped this with the Memento black ink, and I colored it with the watercolor pencils actually. And these come, these are actually from 2 assortments. There's the assortment 2 and the assortment 1. And I did that already. And then I also blended out the color with the blending brush. Now I also colored the this little gnome. Pardon the dogs. So sorry. I'm here alone, so they decide they need to bark to keep me safe. I have 3, 2 Yorkies and a German Shepherd, and it's usually the Yorkies that start the noise. All right, so as I said, I did color this ahead of time, and I'll show you how I color with the blending brush. I am so sorry about the dogs. If I yell at them to shush, it'll be even worse, so I don't think you want to hear me doing that. All right, I think they stopped. So let me zoom in just a little so you could see how I colored this. All right, there we go. I think that's good. Yes. All right, and you just want to color, you know, what I'm doing is just blending out the color a little, not going too crazy. One thing you want to be careful with is if you keep going over the same area, what happens to the paper is it starts to tear and pill. So you don't want that to happen. And I want a more watercolor effect here. So I'm just lightly going in circles, blending out the colors. You could also use your Stampin' blends to do this, or your Stampin' Write markers. All right, we'll do a little down here, here. And you can certainly add more color if you want. And then what I like to do is just wipe it onto my scrap paper here. All right, I'm gonna speed this up so you're not sitting here watching me color. All right, so that's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, and this is my first time using this, so hold your breath. But I'm going to use it's Snowfall accents paint, but I thought it would be kind of cool to make it look puffy on his beard. So I'm just going to apply, oh dear. See, I never used this before, so I don't know how quick it comes out. I guess I probably should have just squeezed it on here because it's, oh, you know what I forgot to do? Shake it. So let's shake that up. I'm just gonna take a paper towel and wipe off what I put on. All right, so let's shake that up. Actually, let me clean that off so I don't get anything stuck on there. Shake that up really good. I'm not sure if you're supposed to shake it, but the print on here is so tiny I can't see it. Oh yeah, it does say shake well before using. All right. All right, so now that I shook it, just gonna apply a little bit here, see how quick it does come out pretty thick. So what I think I'll do is just apply it and then spread it out a little. Oh, I think they're going to start barking again. I hear my Yorkies starting. Now you do want to use a heat gun to set this, and that's where the magic occurs. So let's try this out. Like I said, it's my first time. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. I haven't used it yet, so we'll see how this works. Of course, I didn't bring tweezers in here, so I'm going to hold it down. Actually, I think I should be fine. All right, and you want to do it on the high settings. Let me start it off camera first to get it warmed up a little bit. Use the scissors to hold it down because I feel it burning my fingers. It gets very hot. You want to keep moving it around. I'm going to check it out first, see what it's doing. It looks like I missed a spot. It's kind of cool though. It gives it this really cool puffy effect. So it's really cool. There it goes again. It blobbed out. That I don't like. There we go. It kind of reminds me of Shrinky Dinks a little, except it's not going to shrink. Keep moving it around, especially since this is the first time I've used it and I'm not sure what it's going to do, so I don't want to scorch it. Actually, when I put my gun down, I got it in the paint here. Yep, I see it getting all puffy now. I'm gonna do it on the lower setting. What's nice about the Stampin' Up heat tool is that it has two heat settings, so you can do a low setting or the higher setting. And I think for this, the low setting might actually be better because you're waiting for it to get all puffy. Okay, still have one spot here that's, the rest of it's good. Yeah, it's a little tacky. I think I want to do that. I think I must have added a little more in that one spot there. But it'll take a little practice, I guess. Like I said, this was my first time using it, so I'll have to practice with that a little. But I don't know if you can see that. It gives it like a little puffy look to it. Hopefully it catches on the camera. If not, you gotta believe me. All right, so that's done. So first what I'm going to do is cut these pieces down, the designer series paper. Let me zoom back out again, not that much. All right, so we're going to cut these down to 4.5 inches. And I am going to cut them all at once since it's designer series paper and it's a little thinner. So I think I could get these all at once. And again, look, I have extra pieces here, so I might save those for another card. A mishmash card. All right, so first I want to put these down, decide where they're gonna go, and there will be a border around. Since the card base here that I'm using is 4 inches by 5.25 inches, and I think I want to stagger them a little bit, like so. And then once I'm happy with it, I'll leave 2 pieces on and glue the 1 piece down. And you can also leave, and I might actually, you know what, I think I might do that. I might leave a little bit of space in between. We'll see. All right, let's start gluing this down. So this new bottle, that what I do is I take my the green glue, as we call it, and I just fill up this bottle that I got on Amazon. I'll actually link the I'll link it below if I can find it again. But I love it. Do you know what I did last night? I actually left it open on my table all night, and I didn't notice it until tonight, and it was still fine. Like, I thought the whole tip was going to be completely dried, but it was fine. So I like it. You know, that for me is even more, much more beneficial. So really great. I love the fine tip. It's great on doing like fine detail things. I mean, this I could use, you know, whichever one, but since I've filled it with the glue, the liquid glue, I just use this most of the time now. And then the final piece. This was actually a layout that I did with my mystery stamping group recently, and I thought it was going to be so easy for them to figure it out. Sometimes they like to figure it out before we get together, but they didn't. They said they were stumped. So I was like, oh, cool. All right, so that's done. Before I adhere this onto the card base, I do want to run it through my embossing. I want to use an embossing folder, and I'm going to be using painted texture for this. I had done that by accident with my other card that I'll show you in a little bit, but I really liked the way it looked. So I basically I adhered the 3 strips onto the card, not the card base, the layer, and I ran it through my embossing machine, which I will bring in here. Move some things aside. And this is a 3D embossing folder, so I'll need plate number. If you're using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, You need plate number 1. Then you'll have your embossing folder. This is 3D. Lay that down. Your cardstock, whatever you're embossing, and then plate number 4 on top of that. And that's for the 3D embossing folders only. For the other regular embossing folders, you just need to, I think it's plate number 1, plate 2 and 3. Not sure. I tend to use the 3D folders more, so that's why. Let's move this aside. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Can you see the texture on that? Isn't that beautiful? I think it looks great. I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but I think that looks great. I think embossing really adds so much more depth to a card. All right, now we can adhere this. I like to put a little bit extra glue when I have an embossed card base, cardstock, because you need to get into all those nooks and crannies that you just created. So we'll apply that onto our card base, like so. All right, and then I'm going to glue my mushroom. Actually, let's see how that looks. I think I wanted to use a die cut behind it, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it just like that, nice and simple. But I am going to pop this up, the little guy. This I'm just going to add some glue and leave that flat. And then we'll add some gems to finish off the card. So we'll put that about there. I can close this up. Not yet, actually, not yet. And then I'm gonna put the, pop the little guy up on dimensionals. And guess I really don't need that center one, but it was on my finger, so we'll add it. Pretty cute, isn't it? I think it's sweet. All right, let's add some gems to this. Let's see, I think we'll use the Pacific Point gems. And my Take Your Pick tool is in here someplace. There it is, buried. I like to use the spatula to pull off the dots here. Sometimes they come off right away, and sometimes they stick to other parts of the card. All right, so we'll add that here, I think. I'll add another big one right about here, maybe. And then I think I'll add a little one. Actually, no, let's use the putty end. If I can get this back on, there we go. All right, so we'll use the putty end to pick it up. Sometimes it's easier to pick them up with the putty end. All right, where should we put this? I think I'll lay that right there. All right, isn't that sweet? And the only piece that I cut that was new was the card base. Everything else was done from scrap pieces. Even the images that I stamped on the basic white, those were scrap pieces of paper. And as you know, as the layer here, that was also a scrap piece of very old paper. It was Blueberry Bushel. Couldn't think of the name. All right, so what I want to do is I want to also put, again, so this is how I store my cardstock, and I just put the little pieces in with the full-size pieces. This way, when I need a piece, I'll just go in here and look at it and think like, oh, you know, what size is this? So for the inside, I need a piece that's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we'll cut that down. And I do need to add a sentiment. So let's do this. What's this? 4 inches. This piece here might actually work for my sentiment by 5 1/4 inches. We'll see. This piece is too small, so we'll definitely get rid of that one. All right, set that aside. Before I do that, I want to stamp one of these little guys on the inside, but I'm not going to color it. We'll use this little guy so it'll match the one that's on the outside. And where are my blocks? That should be good. Yes. Perfect. Okay. And we'll use the Memento ink again. Of course, you can use any ink. If you want to do him in color, you can also do him in color. But I think I'm just going to leave the inside black. All right. So we'll stamp that right here. Perfect. Perfect. You know, I have to tell you something funny about these gnomes. I mean, they've been popular for a very long time, and I just refused to buy anything gnome related. And then finally, when Stampin' Up came out with this cute set, I decided, you know what, it's time to jump on the bandwagon. So here we are. Got the gnomes. They are cute though, I think. Add that to the inside. Let's make sure I'm putting it on the right side. So, all right. And then we'll do the sentiment here. I have, what do we have here? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll do that in Pacific Point. Before I stamp it on my strip, I'm gonna make sure it looks okay, and it does. I wonder if that's gonna fit on here. Let's try. It should fit on here. Yes, perfect. Look at that. First try. Got it right where I wanted it. I just want to clean that off quick. I don't like to leave the ink on my stamps. I like to clean them off fairly quickly. Just anal like that, I guess. Anybody else out there like that, or is it just me? We don't want to do that. I think I'm going to put this over here, but I'm going to cut it down here. We'll cut that on an angle. About there. And we'll do the same on the other side. Right about here. How does that look? Cool. I think I may move the gem, one of the gems though. So cute, isn't it? I just love it. Love, love, love. And I'm going to put dimensionals on this so I can close the glue up. Although, like I said, I left this overnight and it was fine, but that was because I forgot. It's one thing to forget something and not do it. It's another thing to intentionally leave it open, right? Nothing like starting Christmas cards early anyway. I'll add that right over here, I think. All right. So what do you think? I think it turned out really cute. I like it. All right, so let's bring in the other card that I made with my mystery stamping group. Incidentally, if you're interested in signing up with my mystery stamping group, we're on Facebook. It started as with my friends, and we've been growing. So I will put a link in the description below. And if you're interested in signing up, we meet on Sundays, Sunday evenings, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're on Zoom. So, and basically what I do is I post the first clue on Facebook in our group. And then on the day that we meet, you prepare all your supplies beforehand. And then on the day that we meet, I give you the rest of the clues and you put your card together. So that's what inspired this, actually. So this is the card that I made. It was made with He's the Man Sweet, I think. Again, designer series paper, and they were scrap pieces of paper. That's how it started. So, and then I also added some on the inside of the card. So those are my cards today. I hope you enjoyed them. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow the channel and bring you more content. I hope you're enjoying what I'm showing you. If you are, make sure you give me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel as well. Give me a like, and also leave me comments. I love to read what you thought about my projects, and I hope that you give it a try. So until next time, guys, happy stamping. Bye.